welcome to Omen Exitio Plague. This game I found on Kickstarter. I was looking around for games that had demos and stuff like that because I always love helping out some of these devs and stuff like that just to see what kind of awesome games are being put out there, and to see if I actually want to throw some money their way. So we're gonna go ahead and hit new game, and we're gonna play this. I'm not too sure what I expect. I expect some like Lovecraftian-esque kind of horrible things, but I always expect that. That's just me. Okay. Colonialism is the control or governing influence of a nation over a dependent country, territory, or people. During the late 1800s, Africa faced European imperialist aggression, diplomatic pressures, military invasions, and eventual conquest and colonization. At the same time, African societies put up various forms of resistance against the attempt to colonize their countries and impose foreign domination. The Anglo-Zanzibar War was just one of the many examples of such a resistance. Zanzibar, 22nd of June, 1896. Your name is Eric McLean, and you're one of the youngest cartographers in the English Royal Navy. It is late 1896, and there are some rumors about a conspiracy by the Omen people against the English army. Okay, your ship is slowly approaching the coast of Nungwi after a quiet trip from Matumbini Island. Alright. Gotcha. I clicked, and the game froze on me. Okay, there we go. So should I rest and get changed, or should I go to... You know what? It's a quiet trip, so we're going to go walk over to the commander's tent. The commander wants you to search for water springs in the area where he wants to set up camp. You have a lot on your mind, and you're starting to feel the desire to see the English coasts again. Your fellow soldiers welcome you on the beach, and after a few days of silent marching, you reach the mission camp. You don't have much time to rest, as you'll have to put together an exploration team the day following your arrival. First Mate Carter. Good day, sir. I'm First Mate Carter. Since we don't have much time, I took the liberty of putting together an exploration party for you. You don't know all the men he's chosen. Rather choose the members of the squad yourself, or I can trust. You know what? This time around, I'm gonna trust him. You decide to trust the First Mate. He most surely knows his men. You start packing again your rucksack. And whatever, which you didn't even have time to unpack completely. You're not happy with how the mission is starting. You have a bad feeling, but you're tired and nervous, so you try not to think about it. Night falls on the first day of the exploration mission. The 8 soldiers are pitching the tents, and the scout is lighting a campfire. The interpreter, an old bearded man, is sitting on a rock. Apparently it's me. He keeps to himself, murmuring his prayers, even while walking. His eyes are elusive, and he's a little creepy, but you feel like you can trust him. Lloyd, the scout, takes care of a beautiful black Byerly Turk named Thunder. Oh, it's a horse. The only horse in the company. You climb on the wagon and choose what meal will be cooked. The soldiers are very young, some even younger than you, and the dinner is accompanied by laughter and songs. The glee distracts you from your nervousness. When you decide it is time to go to sleep and who will take first watch, you notice that the only ones that haven't been laughing are Lloyd and the interpreter. Alright, let's talk to Lloyd. It seems like you prefer horses over men. Can I speak freely, sir? Speechcraft? Remember, I'm your superior. Of course. The men are having fun. It's unfair for Thunder to be left alone and bored. He is a member of the team, and I think this horse has an important role in our expedition. You smile in silence. Get some rest, Lloyd. I need you to be alert tomorrow. Aye, sir. I will try to relax. I wish I could order myself to sleep. As you watch the scout moving towards his tent, you wish you could do the same yourself. Or maybe you can talk to the interpreter first. Let's do that. You don't like to sing? I'm sorry, Effendi. I like to sing. I just don't like to sing like that. What kind of songs do you prefer? I like to sing the songs of my people, Effendi. Songs who please the spirits of the night, not something that can disturb the slumber of our ancient ones. You laugh. Yes, they're noisy and not much in tune. Syed doesn't seem to be in the mood for joking. We have a lot of marching to do tomorrow. I suggest you get some rest. As you command, Effendi. Alright, let's go to sleep. You spend some time lying awake, looking at the canvas of the tent that you can see in the dark. Sleep has turned away while the bad feelings are back. The night is so full of noises, you may have fallen asleep at some point, but you don't remember when it happened. See, the problem is that with the little bit of cursive in there, it's kind of, yeah. Anyway, wake and dreams become confused. You remember shadows, many dark shadows over you. They are moving around, looming over your cot. You remember the sweat on your body and how it became difficult to breathe. It seems you woke up and fell back asleep several times during the night. A strange anguish weighed on you. You remember the strange shapes of the shadows. They seemed human, but you remember too many arms, too long and moving unnaturally. You remember thinking about an octopus while you felt the shadows close to grabbing you. You scream when a hand touches you. Sir? Sir, we need you outside. He's Langley, or maybe Ward. You don't remember every soldier's name. He's come to wake you up because something is happening outside. You hear upset voices outside your tent. Simmons, another soldier, is waiting for you. His boots are dirty and he looks pretty shaken. I went to pee, sir. It was dawn, and I was sleepy, so I didn't notice it at first. What is it you didn't notice, soldier? Offal, sir. There's offal all around the camp. Okay. Should I go by myself, or should I gather all the... You know, let's go. The soldier's face pales, then he nods. Yes, sir. You quickly change your clothes, and in a few steps, the soldier brings you to the place. It stinks, and it's disgusting. But the offal isn't there, at random. It seems like there's some sort of logic in its arrangement. You're watching around you. When Sid, the interpreter, comes out from his own tent and starts yelling something in his language. Then you see them. They are weird symbols on your tent, and on some other tents as well. They are red and seem to be marked with blood. You order to cook breakfast and break camp, trying to leave the episode behind. You know what? I want to investigate. While soldiers try examining the symbols, you move close to your tent. You examine by yourself. Okay, let's take a little look. Oh, I actually succeeded in doing that. You look at the symbols on your tent. They remind you of Egyptian hieroglyphs, but many shapes seem unnatural. You can identify stylized men and women, maybe some animals that you can't recognize. Some symbols may be letters or words. It is clear this was done with a specific purpose and not by accident. Is that a message marked on the tent? Is it some kind of spell or a curse? You choose to keep these thoughts to yourself to avoid upsetting the soldiers. You start marching when Syed comes closer. We need to change our path, Effendi. Do you know what happened here, Syed? Not really, Effendi. But you have an idea. I can see it. It is a threat, Effendi. We entered a dangerous territory. Savages. They are savages. Who the hell are you talking about? There are no savages on the Zanzibar Islands. Who are they, Syed? I don't know if they have a name, Effendi, but they are scary and cruel, inhumans. You think about his words. You look at the map. Two paths lie ahead. You can venture into the forest, ignoring the interpreter, or take a narrow path by the coast that bypasses the trees. If you choose the coast, you'll have to ditch the wagon, leaving ammo, drugs, and supplies behind. Uh-oh. Oh, I have to make a choice now? Oh, that's kind of cool. Oh, that's really cool. Okay, so we can leave the wagon behind and take the path to the coast, or we can keep the wagon and move through the forest. If we move through the forest... You know what? I want to listen to the wise words of the interpreter, but at the same time, we're going to have to leave the wagon behind. And that might not be good. But we're going to do it anyway. The path along the coast reveals beautiful landscapes, but the soldiers aren't in the mood for sightseeing. They don't know why you decided to divert from the original path, and after the morning events, they are becoming suspicious, and they sure aren't happy for leaving the wagon. You are unhappy too, both about the wagon and for deciding to listen to the fear that Syed instilled in you. The path narrows several times, often forcing you to walk in a line. After a few hours, you're facing a collapsed cliff portion. Turn back and march along the road for a different path. Send two soldiers to look for another way. Let's do that. You curse silently, then look for your surroundings. The soldiers get back quite quickly. There is a way. You have to move inland for a few miles, fortunately not enough to enter the forest, and then you'll be able to reach the coast again. It isn't a long detour, so you start leading the group in that direction. In front of you, there's a wide, flat space. In the ground not far from you, a large cave opens up. You approach the entrance to inspect it. The morphology and some traces on the rocks tell you that the cave there probably is a water source. You leave a guard at the entrance and enter the cave with the rest of the company. The entrance descends steeply into the darkness. Getting in is not too difficult, but it takes longer than expected. After a while, the cave becomes larger. It's too dark to see, and every step echoes on the walls, increased tenfold. Okay, let's try observation. God damn it. Your eyes are unable to adjust to the darkness. You're getting kind of dizzy, and an ominous feeling of loneliness starts looming over you. You think you may need to lie down for a second, and then a voice brings you back to reality. Lloyd has found a torch. He lights it up and hands it over. You try to look around with the help of the company. The light's reflections show you a huge chamber. On the bottom, you get a glimpse of a gallery. There is a stone at the center of the chamber, which reminds you of some sort of altar. You take a step forward, and you notice something on the ground. What is this, first of all? Oh, I have a machete and a rifle. I didn't realize I had that. Okay, I didn't know that I had that. Okay, let's go back to the book. You take a step forward, and you notice something on the ground. Okay, should I avoid it, or should I check on it? Let's check it. Okay, cool. You bend down and use the torch to take a good look on the ground. There are bone fragments on the ground, tied with a rope, concealed by some powder. It seems to be a trigger of a trap. Follow me and stay close, or spread out, move slowly, and pay attention. Let's do the follow. You walk slowly, feeling your soldier's breath behind you. You don't want to risk it, but you can't seem to be able to figure out this chamber. You order them to move carefully and inspect the area. The company starts looking around and moving with caution. You discover lots of bones and skulls around the rock altar, lit by the torches. The altar reveals many signs of violence and some drawings on the wall. They're similar to the ones that were on the tent. Looking at those writings, the feeling of being surrounded once again by these inhuman shadows overwhelms you. Sayed remains close to the exit, pale and terrified. He's praying as usual, but this time he's louder. Lloyd and the other soldiers are nervous too. They keep looking at each other. Behind the altar, a soldier finds a small water source, but you are still mesmerized by what seems to be human remains on the ground. Sir? He tries to call you. Look, I want to check it. Look, we're going to dive deep into this rabbit hole. Okay, apparently I suck. You examine the bones again. Some look really old, but some are clearly more recent. Maybe too recent. You choose to take a water sample off the source, then quickly give the order to leave the cave. Sayed turns around. It seems like he's waiting for your order, but he can only take a couple of steps. The 3 soldiers that you had left to guard the entrance rush in, almost bumping into the interpreter. Effendi, the savages are coming. We heard drums, then they appeared. I think they did not see us, but they will be here in a few minutes. Okay. Do I get the option of doing anything? That just randomly appeared, so continue. You can hear the sounds of the savages entering the cave above. You think for a moment. Consult with the scout, or maybe we should hide. Yeah, let's hide in the galleries. You sneak in, the dark inside the gallery. Your men surround you, some of them trying to withhold their breath. From where you are, you can see what happens in the main chamber of the cave. The savages come inside. They are bringing a boy whose hands are tied. They're yelling and playing drums. They tie the boy to the altar. Their intentions are crystal clear. After a few minutes, one of the savages is behind the altar, raising a big knife over his head. Dude, I don't know. I mean, that just sounds bad. Should we stay hidden? Because that's what I would do, but stopping them is also something that I would be compelled to want to do as well. I'm not sure. Let's go ahead and stay hidden. You silently signal your men to venture into the gallery. You hear the sounds of the knife piercing a human body and a scream. You swear at those savages. The sound of drums is growing, and it seems to you that the savages are starting some sort of dance. You have to stop. The gallery is closed. A scream behind you reveals that the savages have found you. You have no other choice. You come out of the gallery shooting with rifles and guns. You hit one savage, then another. A third one throws his spear at you. You dodge it and kill him while you advance. As you get back to the big chamber, a savage jumps out and hits your hand. You lose your gun. You must face him in hand-to-hand combat. Sir, there's too many of them! 2 soldiers are lying on the ground with several savages' bodies. The survivors are fighting strenuously. You and Lloyd are fighting back to back. You're dueling with a savage with a machete. The blades are making sparks. The savage is stronger than you, but eventually you manage to sink your machete into his stomach. Then you turn around to see Lloyd on the ground. He's fighting with a savage. They're both holding the stick of a spear, trying to pull it. Okay, so I can hurl my machete at the savage, which is agility, and I don't know my stats at all, so I don't really know. I really don't know, like, what I am exactly. I don't have any information on who I am and what I can do. Let's go ahead and charge him. Okay, you hit the savage. Oh, shit, I skipped it. Never mind. Apparently I saved him, though. I have a grenade in my backpack. Everyone take cover. It's Ward. You and Lloyd search for shelter. An explosion roars inside the cave. The last savage runs out. Ward comes closer. You nod with your head, smiling briefly at him. You look at the survivors. We need to get out and move away from here quickly before they return. Sir, what about the dead? We have no time for burials. We'll pray for our fellow men when we are in a safe place, Private. All right, continue. You can feel the eyes of the survivors on you. You knew there would be risks in your mission, but none of you could have expected this. These savages have something about them that give you dreadful feelings. Effendi, we have to go away. Syed grabs your arm. They will reorganize soon when they return, and it is going to happen before you can imagine. We will be doomed. Alright, before I do anything else, I'm going to go ahead and pause, because I'm not too sure how long this game is, so we're going to go ahead and pause here, and then I will continue in the next video. So remember to hit that like button, comment, and of course subscribe, guys. Are you gaming? Well, you should be. So get out there, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. There, I've got a stripper. Over there, I've got things I need to click on.